gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome back to our podcast. Today, we're focusing on upcoming federal policy changes affecting government contractors in the first half of 2025, especially GWA Keys, GSA schedules, and the FR.
That's right. There's been a lot of buzz about how these changes could reshape the Govcon landscape. Where do you think contractors should start paying attention?
I think the biggest headline is the set of updates to the Federal Acquisition Regulation, or FAR. It's the rulebook, so even small tweaks have ripple effects.
Absolutely. The FAR changes touch almost every contract. I heard there's a push for more sustainable procurement. Do you think that's going to impact how companies bid?
For sure, sustainability is becoming non-negotiable. Agencies are being told to prioritize vendors with greener supply chains. It's not just about price anymore.
That sounds like a big shift. I bet some smaller firms might struggle to keep up with those requirements. Could this mean more consolidation?
Possibly. Larger firms with more resources might adapt faster. But I also think there's room for niche players to shine if they innovate in sustainability.
That's a good point. Now, about GWACs, government-wide acquisition contracts. What's changing there in 2025?
The focus seems to be on streamlining. Agencies want to reduce contract duplication and simplify access to emerging tech. There's talk of consolidating some GWA keys.
Does that mean fewer opportunities for competition? Or just a different playing field?
Maybe a bit of both. Contractors will need to show real value and differentiation. It's less about being on every contract vehicle and more about being the right fit.
I've noticed GSA schedules are also in the spotlight. The multiple award schedule program is getting an overhaul, right?
Yes, GSA is aiming for greater flexibility and faster onboarding. They want to cut red tape, but also beef up compliance checks. It's a balancing act.
I imagine faster onboarding sounds great to new vendors, but are there risks? Could quality control slip?
That's a valid concern. If the process is too fast, there's a risk of letting in less qualified vendors. But with enhanced compliance, GSA hopes to keep standards high.
Speaking of compliance, cybersecurity requirements are also tightening, aren't they? I read that agencies want stricter controls for vendors.
Definitely. The Cybersecurity Maturity Model Certification, or CMMC, is being integrated into more contracts. Contractors need to invest in their cyber posture.
That could be costly for smaller firms. Do you think there will be support to help them meet these requirements?
Some agencies are considering phased rollouts or offering guidance, but it's mostly on the contractor to step up. Risk management is becoming central.
All these changes seem like a lot to keep up with. How can contractors stay ahead?
I'd say proactive education is key. Attending webinars, reading policy briefs, and building strong compliance teams will be crucial.
That makes sense. But what about innovation? Is there room for companies to set themselves apart creatively amid all this regulation?
Actually, yes. Agencies are asking for more than just compliance. They want innovative solutions, especially in IT and sustainability. Creativity is a differentiator.
It's almost ironic. So much regulation, but also a demand for out-of-the-box thinking. How should firms balance both?
Think of it like jazz. There's a structure, but you still need improvisation. Understanding the rules lets you innovate within them.
I like that analogy. Now, looking at the first half of 2025, which policy change do you think will have the biggest immediate impact?
I'd bet on the FAR updates simply because they touch every contract. But GWAC consolidation could quickly change the competitive landscape, too.
And for contractors already on GSA schedules, what should they be preparing for right now?
They should review their compliance protocols and update their offerings. GSA wants to see more modern, flexible solutions and tighter cybersecurity.
Are we seeing any trends in contract evaluation criteria? Is price still king, or are agencies weighing other factors more heavily now?
Price matters, but agencies are weighing past performance, technical innovation, and social responsibility more than ever. It's a more holistic view.
That's encouraging for companies focused on value rather than just cost-cutting. Do you think this will attract new players to the market?
It could. The bar is higher in some ways, but the reward for excellence is greater. We might see more startups and innovators entering GovCon.
With all this change, do you think relationships with agencies will become more important?
Absolutely. Building trust and understanding agency missions can give contractors an edge. It's not just about paperwork anymore.
That's a shift from the old days. I remember when everything was about ticking boxes. Now it sounds like partnership is the name of the game.
Exactly. Agencies want collaborators, not just vendors. If you can help them meet bigger goals, you stand out.
Let's touch on risk. With so many policy shifts, how can contractors manage uncertainty?
Scenario planning is vital. Anticipate different outcomes, invest in flexibility, and keep communication lines open with clients and partners.
Flexibility seems to be a recurring theme. Do you see any risks of change fatigue among contractors?
For sure. The pace can be exhausting. That's why prioritizing changes and focusing on core strengths is important. You can't chase every trend.
Are there any specific pitfalls you think contractors should watch out for in 2025?
Watch for compliance gaps, especially in cybersecurity and sustainability. Also, don't ignore opportunities for collaboration. Teaming can offset resource gaps.
That's a good tip. Do you think teaming and joint ventures will become more common as a result of these policy changes?
I think so. Pooling resources and expertise can help meet complex requirements and open doors to bigger contracts.
Let's switch gears for a moment. How do you think technology will influence these policy changes? Are automation and AI playing a role?
Absolutely. Automation is streamlining procurement, and AI is being used for contract analysis. Contractors using these tools can gain efficiency.
But does automation create any new challenges? Like, could it make the process too impersonal or rigid?
That's possible. There's a risk of losing the human touch. Contractors need to balance tech adoption with responsive, personalized service.
In all this, do you think the government is doing enough to communicate these changes clearly to contractors?
Communication has improved, but there's still confusion. Agencies are trying, but the volume of changes can be overwhelming.
I suppose that's where industry associations and consultants come in. They can help decode the policy lingo.
Exactly. Networking and knowledge sharing are more valuable than ever. Nobody can keep up with everything alone.
Looking forward, do you think the pace of change will slow down, or is this just the new normal?
I think it's the new normal. The government wants to stay agile and responsive, so adaptation will be ongoing.
For listeners just starting in GovCon, what's your best advice for navigating these turbulent times?
Stay curious, invest in compliance, and focus on building real value for your clients. The landscape may shift, but those basics don't change.
That's reassuring. And for veterans in the field, any tips for staying relevant as the rules evolve?
Don't rest on your laurels. Keep learning, embrace new tech, and look for ways to collaborate. Experience is valuable, but flexibility is key.
Before we wrap up, is there any one thing you wish more contractors understood about these policy changes?
I wish more saw them as opportunities, not just obstacles. Change is hard, but it often opens doors if you're prepared.
That's a great note to end on. There's a lot to digest, but also a lot of potential for those willing to adapt.
Exactly. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope this helps you navigate the GovCon world in 2025 and beyond.
And as always, keep an eye on the horizon. Policy may be complex, but with the right mindset, you can turn challenges into wins.
Absolutely. Until next time, stay informed and stay agile.
Thanks for watching. I'm Nancy, your AI avatar. If you like this podcast, you can get one for yourself based on a website, YouTube video, or any source. Contact me to get a customized quote for your content. See you soon.